Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. And today we're going to be reviewing Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Now, out of the first 8, this is the one I've watched the least because when I'm watching a Friday the 13th film, I want a movie with Jason in it, but I don't think it deserves some of the hate it gets. Like, I defend a lot of the movies in this franchise because there's not a single movie in this franchise that I legitimately hate. I don't hate any of the films in this at all. Not even the remake. I think the remake is great. I actually think it was a return to form. It's not my favorite, but even that one was good. And, even stuff like Part 8. It's very cheesy, very dumb, but I still get enjoyment out of it. But today, we're talking about the 5th one, so let's get into it. Now, the 5th one is extremely sleazy. As you probably know if you've watched this one, I believe the director, rest in peace, he seems like a funny guy. He talked about how he wanted to add more boobs to it because we get some of the most blatant nudity in the whole franchise in this film. And the whole premise of this film is, well, let's go over the background, right? A year before this, the final chapter came out, which was supposed to be the last movie in the franchise. But money talks, and that one went big in the box office. And at the end of that movie, they had Tommy look into the camera, look kind of like something's messed up. So it kind of set up that he potentially could be the next Jason. So we pick up in this film, Tommy has a dream about seeing these two people digging up Jason's grave, and he comes out, and he's back, but he wakes up from that dream, he's going to this, recovery place, I think it is, a therapy place or something. It's, near Camp Crystal Lake, but not, right on it, like the past couple locations were, and there's an interesting cast of characters this time. We have the two redneck couple, Ethel and I think her son or something. I think it's her son. I don't know. And you get the Robin. I think is one of the characters, and the guy that stutters. I'm sorry. I like that. I don't really remember his name because, like I said, some of the characters are really memorable. Like the ones I talk about in a second are the ones that I think about when I'm thinking Part 5, A New Beginning. But they're even some of these side characters that are gonna get killed off, like Violet. I believe, fun fact, I just learned this today. She's played by the daughter of the actress who played Kristen's mom in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 and 4. So it's pretty interesting that just a couple years before this, her daughter was playing in Part 5, her real life daughter was, of Friday the 13th. Another little connection between these two franchises, my favorite horror franchises. So, it's a little fun tidbit. She gets killed by Roy later on. I don't know why I said gets killed by Jason. Spoiler alert, it's a copycat killer. And then there's the kid Joey, who wants to offer a chocolate bar to this guy with an axe. And the guy with the axe just freaks out and just chops his back right in half. And then we see two paramedics come up on the scene. And one of the most, it's pretty obvious once you watch it again. It's pretty obvious from the start. The way that Roy, who's one of the paramedics, looks at the camera, it's pretty obvious he's going to go on to be the Jason copycat. So, let's talk about the kills. If there's one thing going for this film really good, it's the kills. They're some of the most brutal in the whole franchise. There's the girl who, this is one of the most nude scenes in the whole. She just sits there, her boobs out the whole time for it's a long shot too. The director pans on it for a long time, and she gets killed with a pair of yard trimmers, through the eyes and then pulled together so it cuts her and it's pretty rough. And then her boyfriend gets the belt and the stick. Gets a belt wrapped around his eyes and gets it tied into a tree and stuff, and it's pretty good effect. And then the greaser gets a road flare through the mouth. A flare from a flare gun through the mouth, and it's... And like I said, the characters are more notable in this one. These next three characters. We got Pam, who's our final girl. Not my favorite in the franchise. I think she could be top 6, if I'm thinking about it. And then you got Reggie, Reckless Reggie. I love him. His older brother is my favorite character in this film. But he gives off one of the best screams in the whole movie whenever he sees Roy. He also takes that guy down with a tractor too, though. Runs him over. But his older brother Damon and his girlfriend, you know, the enchiladas scene. Just stuff like that builds these characters up and you like them more. I wouldn't say their part is good. I wouldn't say I like them as good as Part 4's characters. But besides Part 4, maybe Part 2. I'd say besides Part 4. It's the best set of characters so far. And now let's get to the final girl circuit. But I think to do that, I kind of need to explain why Tommy's set up to potentially be the killer in this one. So, I didn't mention it, but Tommy's not played by Corey Feldman. I forget the actor who played him in this film. I know the one who plays him next film. He's my favorite Tommy Jarvis. In Part 6, Jason Lives, we'll discuss. But, anyways, there's scenes where he beats people up. He's having this trauma. He's seeing Jason in his dreams. And he kind of he takes a back seat for most of the film. He's in the background because they want to set the mystery up. So, at this final chase, Reggie and Pam escape Roy. And then when Roy Burns is caught up to him, she goes after him with a chainsaw, slashes him. And he stabs Tommy in the chest, or slashes him in the chest. Roy does. Until he's up at the top and gets pushed out the window and falls onto some farm spikes. And his mask falls off and reveals it's Roy. So, it's just a different physique from Jason too, though. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious it's a copycat killer from the beginning. But then the ending sets up another one of those. This series is known for its just weird endings at the end that sets stuff up. It has Tommy stand behind Pam and with a knife and look like he's about to stab her. Which that goes nowhere. As soon as Part 6 starts, nothing's explained, but a part of that could be because I believe Part 6 sort of ignores the events of this film, but doesn't at the same time. And this will be the last Friday the 13th film that's serious. I wouldn't say serious, but like the whole camp counselor approach, comparatively. Because Part 6 will take a more comedic horror comedy route. Part 7 takes a more like serious one versus the other type thing, because Tina is like the carry. She has telekinesis and she beats Jason with her powers, which like takes it farther out of the world. Part 8, Jason takes Manhattan. He goes to New York, very different from the traditional form. Part 9, he becomes a worm slug thing when he gets blown up. Part 10, he goes to space. He fights Freddy and Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, so like until the remake, this will be like the last grounded in reality kind of movie with less comedy. I guess you consider Part 8 that's kind of grounded, but there's toxic sludge that floods New York sewers, so that's definitely fiction. Pretty sure it doesn't happen. You can tell me if I'm wrong. But so Part 5, I should watch more because I think it has good stuff going for it. I don't like Roy Burns as a killer. I don't think he's set up that good. But Reggie, Damon, some of the kills, just the outright nudity in this film. How the director, I think he was a director of porn films before pornos before he went on to direct this movie. So he wanted big nudity in this film. Gotta respect him. I mean, he seemed like a great guy. Rest in peace. This film just, like I said, has a lot of stuff going for it. But when I want to watch a Friday the 13th film, I find myself not going back to this one. Because Jason's not here. I think Tommy also, this is the worst version of Tommy. And the actor doesn't do too bad. It's the way he doesn't like show up enough and he's kind of in a back seat. But, you know, I can still find enjoyment from this film because I don't hate a single Friday the 13th film. Unlike Nightmare on Elm Street, where I hate the remake, I don't hate a single film in the Friday the 13th franchise at all. But until the next one, I love you guys. Take care. Stay blessed. And I guess I'd rate this movie, if I rated the original a 7, I'd rate this one a good 6.9. It's not a bad movie, but it's not something I turn on constantly. But I love you guys. Take care. Stay blessed. See you in my favorite film. My second, or somewhere along the lines of my personal favorite, Jason Lives.